Welcome to the Ask Lee segment of my channel, and if you have any questions regarding magic, spirituality, witchcraft, demonology, the occult, whatever it may be, then all you have to do is drop it into the comments of any of the Ask Lee videos and I will add it to the queue. And I do these every Wednesday, so just look out for your questions. Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button. Okay, welcome back, and let's start with the first question, and it's from Jake Colt 9783. I have a question. It's with regard to the moon and void of course. The general consensus is that nothing should be started during this time or any magic performed, as it will be doomed to fail. But how did that come to be? Could I get your take on this? Also, if you perform daily rituals, are they null and void if done during a void of course moon? And finally, let's say you ask for something from the divine, universe, God, etc., and this is during a void of course moon. Does that sit in your subconscious mind, if you can get it in there in the first place? And when the moon enters a sign, will it then send it kind of like sending a text message, but with no signal? And then as soon as you get a signal, it gets sent. I could not think of a better analogy, sorry. Thanks for reading this. Regards, Jake. Okay, probably better to actually ask an astrologer this question, but I'll give my take on it anyway. So, for anybody who's not sure, Jake obviously does know, but anybody who's not sure, void of course moon happens round about every 3 days, 2 to 3 days. It's when the moon moves from one zodiac sign into the next zodiac sign, and during that phase, during that movement, it's kind of not in any zodiac at all, which is why it's void of course. As it's moving through its course, it becomes void. So what this generally means is that with the moon energy combined with the energy of the zodiac, and obviously the zodiac signs have a planetary force connected to them, so we're looking at planetary forces also. We get a particular energy come through at that particular time. And so when it's moving between signs, it's kind of in a void space. So it's not really picking up any particular energy. And therefore, doing magic during these times can leave the results or cause the results to fail. And not, I wouldn't say fail completely every single time, but it's usually advised not to do magic during this time. So I think the difficulty here is that not everybody works with planetary energies or even the moon energies itself, and they still have success with magic. But what you might find is that the success is slightly dulled. There are a lot of different energies out there. There's not just the lunar energy or the planetary energies or the energy which we get from the zodiac / planets. There's also the energy of the elements. There's the energy of just everything that's around you. There's if you're working with the Kabbalistic system, there's particular energies there that you work with. There are spiritual energies from the demonic, from the angelic, from the gods and the goddesses. There's lots and lots of different types of energies out there. So when we're working with the lunar energies and the planetary energies, this is something you might want to take into consideration, is the void of course moon. However, as I said, there are lots of different energies out there. So I wouldn't say, some will say that it will fail. But during void of course moons, I would say that the energy as a whole is kind of dampened, is dulled slightly. It doesn't mean that you cannot do magic. It's just advised that you don't, because if you want the best success, you may want to align all the different energies up. But it's just one of those things I think you need to test and experiment with. Try doing magic at a void of course moon, and then try doing magic at a particular time where all the specific energies are lining up. But doing things like your daily practices, banishing rites, things like that, if you happen to do them during a void of course moon, it may not have the full effect for that day, but the next day they will. So, and that's a constant daily thing, a long-term thing that you are keeping up. So, it's not really going to have that much or really have that much of an effect on your overall practice. When it comes to your other question in regards to, if you kind of do the magic during a void of course moon, does it sit there until the moon moves into a different sign and then it gets sent off? No, not really. Because what you've done is you've done the magic, and you've kind of, if you think of it kind of like building up the energy, doing the magic, and then throwing it at a target. The target you're throwing it at is a void. So it just kind of goes into a void. It's not picking up on any particular energy. It's not picking up or going to any particular energy. So it really just goes straight into a void. So in that case, it's then worth actually doing it again at a proper time. But if this is why, if you are going to align with all of as many different energies as you can, and you are going to include lunar energies, lunar phases, you are going to include planetary energies, then you will want to look at doing your magic at a particular time, and that will be in conjunction with the zodiac that the moon is in, the day of the week aligned with the planetary force, and also the planetary hours. So you've got all these different things that you can align up to get the best benefit you can. I guess we could say it's a bit like, I'm trying to think of an analogy. If you were to do a magic spell, a spell working, and then you were able to go back in time and do exactly the same spell working, but on a day which is more aligned with more benefit for that spell working, you'll get a bit of a boost, so you'll get more benefit from it. If you then align that to the proper planetary hour, a bit more of a boost. If you were then to align that with the moon in a particular zodiac, which is also working with a planetary element, and the moon is either waxing or waning depending on the work you're doing, so you've got that lunar energy also, again, a bit more of a boost. So each time you align with a different energy, you get more of a boost in your magic. So if it's void of course, you've basically got this situation where planetary energies and lunar energies, which are connected to a lot of things. Not everybody follows astrology, not everybody follows the moon phases, and that's fine. But I do find that when we align with these particular energies, and the more energies we can align with, the better our magic becomes. But during those void of course states, you're just really just putting it into a void. So when you're going to do your magic, when we do magic, we usually plan to do it. If it's an emergency thing, we do it on the fly. And if you go back, you'll probably find it wasn't during a void of course. It could be, but you'll probably find it wasn't. But we may do magic on the fly. That's fine. You can do the magic. It's maybe at coincidentally at a great time. It may coincidentally be at a bad time during the void of course. But you're still going to do the magic. You're still going to push it out there. It doesn't mean it just we do say it goes into the void, so therefore it goes into nothing. But as I said, we work with a lot of different energies. There's a lot of different energies that are around us at a particular time. It's not just the planetary and the lunar. So we can pick up on energies regardless of what happens with the moon. All right, so a bit convoluted, but I think you should understand what I'm trying to say at least. Okay, let's go on to the next question. 18. This is from Rachel 1. Can you do an episode where you speak about your personal success stories with magic, physical healing, money success, protection, cursing, etc.? I'll try. I've been trying to think of some of the things, and obviously some of this is very, very personal, so I'm not going to speak about that on a public forum. And when it comes to success with cursing or counter cursing, I'm not really going to talk about that on a public forum either. I have in the past, but I don't really want to. I do remember an incident where somebody came to me and said they've just been diagnosed with cancer. It was early stage though. I think it was stage 1. It may have been stage 2, but it was very early, which was a very good thing. So it can be caught early and something done about it. And I said I'll do a working to see what I can do with the cancer. And she was going back to the doctor in 2 weeks' time to go and get a follow-up. So anyway, I did the magic. It was actually at a time when I was exploring Albert Villoldo's core shamanism. Albert Villoldo's not really core shamanism, but his form of core shamanism, we could say. Neo-shamanism, if we want to call it that. And so I worked with Mother Jaguar to attack the cancer. So I waged war on the cancer cells. And anyway, she went back to the doctor to follow up, and the doctor apologized profusely because the cancer wasn't there. We don't know if she made a mistake. We don't know if the magic worked. Doctors do make mistakes, so maybe he made a mistake and his original diagnosis was wrong. Who knows? Anyway, so that was one that I would consider to be a success story. I've really been trying to think of things. I did think of others and then I forgot to write them down and I've forgotten. I might need to actually come back to this question because I can't remember anything. And some of the stories, I suppose some people would consider them success stories. I just consider them kind of normal. So anyway, I'll probably have to come back to this one. I'll give it some more thought. But that was the one story that usually comes up when somebody asks that anyway. Okay, so let's go on to Neonite 222. More questions needed, no problem. I'll probably never run out of questions. Good, great, carry on. Okay, there are many demons with the ability to teach you about past, present and future. Which demons would you recommend to help with making peace with things that happened in the past that you just can't let go no matter what you try? Overcoming emotional attachments to things that happened, or even losing physical objects that meant a lot to you, or relationships you've lost. Which demons can help you close those chapters, so to speak? I would definitely just recommend Leviathan here. I find Leviathan to be fantastic for this type of thing, and also for if you've lost a loved one, not just a relationship breakup, but also with death. I found Leviathan can definitely help with this, the emotional balancing of it. Leviathan is known for bringing emotional balance back if you are, kind of out of whack. But that can extend into many things. So if you have a past event which is causing you emotional turmoil, emotional unbalance, then Leviathan can definitely help. And I find what Leviathan does, he kind of washes you in his waters, kind of washes you clean type of thing. And that allows the emotions to kind of kind of level out, but also he kind of allows you to step back a bit and see what's happening, see what's going on. Because when we're in an emotional unbalanced state, we are usually in it, we're in the fray, and we're kind of being thrown from one corner to the other, and it's very difficult to kind of see what's going on and give ourselves a break just to try and sort it out. So that Leviathan's energy kind of allows us to step back and just sort things out from an objective perspective. So Leviathan's very good for that. I would definitely recommend him for that. Second question. I watched a video of yours where you spoke about the cosmic soup and that everything is connected there, that spirits, people, etc. become a part of the cosmic soup and they don't have any business to finish in our realm anymore. If that's the case, then how and why are we still able to contact specific spirits like ancestors, people, or pets who passed on, or even entities like demons, gods, and goddesses, etc., if they become part of the cosmic soup and don't stay around in our world? How is it possible that we're still able to connect with their specific energy for decades and generations after they have been alive or around here in our world? Okay, so this is where part of the mysteries come in, but also we have to try not to think in 3 and 4 dimensional states. This is 5-dimensional reality that we're talking about. So when it comes to spirits and ancestors, and it doesn't matter if cosmic soup is only one worldview. Others, Wicca, may talk about going to the Summerlands when people die and things like that, but others may be it's a pure soul where we die and then we go to an afterlife and then we come back and reincarnated. So all of these really do bring up the same question: how do we contact these spirits? Centuries later, we can still contact the dead spirit, the spirit of a dead person, and talk to them, even though it's quite possible that they've died, been to the afterlife and reincarnated, or got thrown back into the cosmic soup, etc., etc., etc. So all of these raise the same question. And it really is because we're talking about 5-dimensional reality. We're viewing this in terms of time. So, we're born, we live our life, we die, we go to the afterlife, we're reincarnated, or we go into the cosmic soup and we get mixed up and then we get pulled out and reincarnated again as a variety of spirits. But it's that timeline that we're considering, and that timeline is therefore lateral, and time is not lateral. That's linear. Time is not linear, it's lateral. So the past, present, and future don't really exist. Everything is happening in the now. So somebody who died 10,000 years ago, we can still speak to because they are still alive. They were also born and died in the same moment. They have become various people and spirits and entities in the same moment, which is the now. So I think you see what I'm getting at here. It's all happening now. Everything's happening now. There is no timeline here. We obviously need to function in a linear timeline because that's how our brains work and how we function. But within the mystery, that timeline disappears. There is no such thing as that timeline. It's all happening in the same now. And I'm going to leave that there because I think that answers the question. If I carry on, I'm going to start confusing things. But if it is still confusing, just let me know and we'll discuss it further. Okay. All right, so I'm going to end today's show here. I just want to check. Oops, no, I've got to press that button first and then do a swipe thing and then go back there. All right, so the next question is also from Leo Knight, who asked me to speak about Baphomet. So I'm going to do that next week. And depending on how long that is, maybe some more questions. Okay. So have a great one for now, and I'll see you then. Cheers, bye bye.